Dear friends in Christ, we are entering on the second day in the season of Lent. And the Gospel reading of today speaks about the death and the life. The Gospel begins with Jesus foretelling what is going to happen to him. He speaks of the intense physical and mental sufferings through total rejection by the leaders of his own people and the brutal execution. After hearing what the crowd thought of him, Jesus then told them what he had really come to do: to suffer, to be rejected, to be killed, and to be raised on the third day. An important word here we see is the word must. The Son of Man must suffer. This word gives no option to him. Thereby, Jesus reveals the true nature of his mission. It is not an option, but an obligation. Jesus says, "Let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." As Jesus spoke these words, everybody knew what he meant. Because in the Roman world, before a man died on a cross, the executioners hanged the cross on the criminal, and he had to carry this cross to the place of execution. It was an unrelenting instrument of torture, death, and humiliation. If someone took up his cross, he never came back. It was a one-way journey. Here Jesus says that those who follow him must voluntarily take up their cross, because cross is the one thing which nobody welcomes nor chooses, but it just happens. It comes in. Here Jesus asks us to take up the unchosen disturbances and pains of life, to bear them as our daily way of joining Jesus who has died for us, in loving us, in redeeming us. When we are willing to take up these unavoidable circumstances of daily living, we are identifying ourselves with the Redeemer and join hands with him to redeem the situation that we are into. We may be also redeeming a family situation by joining someone else, or alleviating the struggle of a friend in need. Through our willingness to alleviate the pains and struggles of people around, or any living beings be it, we make the redeeming grace known, the redeeming power to come active through our hands. The willingness to take up the unexpected tortures and humiliations take us closer to the will of the Father for us. There we begin to share the redeeming grace of Christ in the given situations. So, the call to take up the cross of our daily life is a mission commission to each of us. None is exempted. Let him deny himself and take up his cross daily is his demand. The cross wasn't about self-promotion or self-affirmation. The person carrying the cross knew that they couldn't save themselves and that self was destined to die. Here Jesus becomes the perfect example for self-denial, the perfect example of redemption. Jesus stresses to take up the daily cross, and it is a daily attempt for us. This bearing of the cross may lead to many falls, tortures, humiliations, stripping of our own human dignity. Still, take up your cross, he says. For through it, we are preparing our own redemption and of the others. The betrayals, burdens, irritations, accusations can be occasional, but we can also be instrumental in helping the other in shouldering their cross on a day-to-day basis. For example, by reaching out to our own family members who are in need. And today we see this is something disappearing. The sibling rivalry and betrayal indifferences have overtaken the true family bond. For Jesus says, "For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it." Jesus is the way to our life. Jesus is the ideal way to life. Let us replace the evil tendencies with the good, our weaknesses with the strength of virtues. You don't lose a seed when you plant it with goodwill. Let Jesus be our role model to imitate, to shape, to inspire, and count on to daily. Let these 40 days remind us of Jesus' words, for what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and end up losing everything?